Broncos country. There it is, baby. The Denver Broncos have walked off the Kansas City Chiefs in what many people were calling the biggest, most important regular season game in the last decade. You can make the argument that it was or that it wasn't, but regardless, it was the next game. And the Broncos have overcome, like Jeremy told me before we started, we overcame the Chiefs, the refs, a player getting cancer, everything, to be able to get an absolutely incredible victory against the Kansas City Chiefs, 22-19. And most importantly, man, a dominant lead in the division, at least as it pertains to the Chiefs, right? We are leading the division, but at least as it pertains to the Chiefs, Broncos are 9-2. Kansas City Chiefs fall to 5-5. Jeremy, give us your initial reaction, man. How the hell you feeling, bro?
Man, that was another just stressful, crazy game. But you know what? All well that ends well. Everybody had the doubts. The Chiefs needed it so bad. We were sitting good. And you know what? Sean Payton and Bo Nix and the boys and the defense just said, not on our watch. We owed them, like, not only we beat all those things you just said, the Chiefs, the refs, cancer, injuries, freaking who knows. We beat our past demons. Because last year, when we had a chance to put our foot on them and beat them in regulation, we missed. We got the field goal blocked. Now we didn't let it happen. We just said, nope, not going to let it happen. I love the fact that Troy Franklin made that big play at the end. Gosh, he was stressing me out with those earlier ones. Yep. Freaking refs, as usual. The Riley Moss, like, just ridiculous calls, whatever. But you know what? Kansas City has no excuses. Anybody, I want Nick Wright, all those people out there that want to just talk all their smack saying we're not legit. Okay, yeah, we might beat the Raiders 10-7, but we'll beat the Chiefs as well. Yeah. And when the Chiefs are desperate. So
well said, man. And yes, endoplasmic, my guy, he said, did he say cancer? I did. Yes. Alex Singleton, obviously, with the cancer diagnosis. He didn't play today. Looks like he's going to be fine, but it's like this team doesn't miss. I think the most impressive thing about this game, man, was just like anytime you needed to get it, like all season, the Broncos were getting it. They were just getting it, period. Like, dude, you're talking about the Broncos get the ball. The game is tied, 19-19.
Yep.
They go 10 plays, 58 yards, take all the Chiefs' timeouts, take the entirety of the clock out to give themselves an opportunity to kick the game-winning field goal. Bo Nix, again, unbelievably clutch. I think he played a very, very good game in general. Even though I just realized, I knew this, but it's just funny because the offense really only scored one touchdown. We just kicked a bunch of field goals. But I thought he was so good, man. And, dude, something clicks in the guy when it's clutch time. And you just saw it, and you knew it. And you talk about overcoming the refs and overcoming some stuff. On that drive, they get a very, very bad holding call. There's a lot of holding calls. We'll get to that. Terrible holding call that puts them from 2nd and 5 to 2nd and 15. And then I didn't like the shot play, but they missed the shot play. Now it's 3rd and 15. They overcome that, no problem. 20 yards to Sutton on an unbelievably beautiful play by Bo Nix. And then they run it with Harvey, and they just continued to march down. They kept getting it. And then when they needed it most, 2nd and 8, 54 seconds left, Bo Nix drops an absolute dime to Troy Franklin down the left sideline, back shoulder, perfectly timed, 32 yards. And the rest is history, man. I mean, not only did we beat the Chiefs, and I felt like we were really in control for a lot of this game, what I loved about it was they looked like they were 0% intimidated by the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's not something that you could say about this team, you know, over the course of the last decade. And, man, was it unbelievable. And, you know, what I really want to give my flowers to, who I think is the true MVP, who had an unbelievable game plan, and we'll get to Sean Payton because I thought he was great on offense.
Yep.
Vance Joseph and the defense today, man.
Yep.
I mean, just talk about that corner blitz. You fool Mahomes. And you basically like did to them what they usually do to teams.
That's right. In
terms of just like sending the corner blitz. No one saw it coming. Jaquan McMillan, huge sack to be able to give us the opportunity. It was unbelievable. Just, man, I love this team, and it's a great day to be a Broncos country, man.
Dude, I loved that the way that game ended so much because They got the ball back with 4.5 minutes left. And everybody, Tony Romo, freaking everybody in the world was like, it's Kansas City and this is their season. Da 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 da. They don't lose. He's 13 and whatever. Blah 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 blah. Well, you know what? Got the sack, and then watching him whine like LeBron James for a foul when he's like, he hit my helmet, like on that sack, was the saddest, most pathetic thing I've ever seen. And I was just like, okay, dude, like, come on. And then the replay showed he didn't even touch his helmet at all. He just went high and then like grabbed his shoulders. And then to watch him helpless on the bench, watching us march down the field, and then setting that up and kicking that game winner, and Will got it, the line got it. It was just like all the crap we had to deal with for last year going through everything set it up to be even more, like if we would have won that game last year, that would have been for us. We would have been like, we've arrived. We can beat the Chiefs in KC under hostile environments, but it really wouldn't have hurt them that much. You know what I mean? It might have set them back like a game or whatever, but like, it wasn't like they were desperate. This year, they're desperate. They're 5-4. We're 8-2, and they need this game. And it's like, if you're gonna do it, Kansas City, you got to do it now, because this is a division game, and you're coming off a bye, which you never lose off a bye. All the crap, right? Yeah. And we're down Patrick Surtain. We're down J.K. Dobbins. We're down Alex Singleton. We're down. Name all these people, right? And you still couldn't make the play when you needed to. And Bo Nix delivers yet again against Kansas City in the clutch. This time the field goal's pure. And man, it was just it was like a chef's kiss. All the stuff that I heard the last 2 weeks or whatever was just like, how do you like me now? You know what I mean?
It was amazing. It was amazing, man. And dude, I don't even really know where to begin. Like, it's crazy how it completely is a 180 from last year. Like the same thing. We were 5-4. They were 8-2. We were in Arrowhead. They blocked the kick. They go to, we go to 5-5. They go to 9-2. And so now we just flipped it on them. But I think what the most impressive thing about this game overall with the Broncos is just the fact that, like, I didn't see them complaining. Like, I was complaining about the refs and all that. And you kind of know, like, there's going to be those calls against the Chiefs. It's inevitable. I don't really care what Chiefs fans say, or you could look at the data. Like, it's kind of a known thing, and it's fine, whatever. But they didn't even budge. Like, they had a couple of different 3rd and longs where they just said, let's get our head together and let's go out there and make a play. And that's all they did. They went out there and they made plays, man. And I really think that Mike McGlinchey false start penalty saved us. I'm not going to lie. At the time, I was really happy that we weren't going for it. It was a really risky move, I felt like.
I had some friends over to watch the game, and I was like, I wouldn't go for this. But I hated being in the situation. I so desperately we needed that first down so bad that I was like, gosh, I want to go for it, but I just don't think it's the smart move. Because if you miss that, you could lose. Like, they had the momentum, and I was like, oh gosh. And then when that happened, I was pissed at ourselves for another stupid penalty, another unforced error. But then at the same time, I thought, maybe that's not so bad. We'll see what happens on this next drive. If we get a stop here, I don't hate it. And luckily we did.
No, man, it was huge. And I, like I said, at the time, I was like, obviously a little bit upset, because you're thinking, man, it could be massive if we get it. But then once we got the stop, and then we eventually, kicked the field goal to tie it, I was thinking back on it. I was like, man, that could have saved us and really given us this opportunity. So I'm really happy that it worked out. But I want to give Vance Joseph his flowers. I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah,
go ahead.
100%. Vance Joseph. They took that one shot of him on the sideline dialing something up, and I was just like, I'll be the first to admit when I'm like wrong about it. I was wrong about Vance Joseph. I didn't want him anywhere near this team.
Me too.
I was like, no, dude, we saw what you were like as a head coach. You might be okay as a defensive coordinator, but I just don't want it here. And we got stomped on by Miami, and I was like, if they don't fire him this week, I'll be upset. And he's done nothing but like dial it in, and he's turned guys who were drafted in the 2nd, in the 3rd, and the 4th rounds into superstars in the 7th round. Cooper, Like, he's gotten some guys. It's not like we've just gotten first round picks. Like, it's all Pat Surtain guys. It's like Riley Moss was a third rounder. Like, Benito was the very last pick of the second round. Cooper was a seventh round. Like, yeah, you got like Zach Allen and some other signings, but like, just man, he has
think about Jaquan McMillan, bro.
McMillan, like
massive game today.
Abrams Drain played freaking great.
Phenomenal.
Like Barron played really well. There was like a couple that they gave on. Like the one guy I couldn't believe who was, you know, gave it up on the defense was Hufanga not making that tackle on Kelsey. And I was like, if there's one player on our team that I would trust to make that tackle, it would have been him.
Yeah,
and I was so upset. But you know what? Like, somebody knew, like, let's just make this extra difficult. And then when we blocked that extra point, Crum even coming in the clutch. And dude, that put it at like, we didn't need to force anything. We could take a field goal instead of a touchdown and tie it up at 19. That's what ended up happening. And then it's just, we outplayed them in that last bit. We wanted it more. It was the Jaleel McLaughlin touchdown. We wanted it more than they wanted to stop us.
Yep.
And for a team I was 8-2, like on Horsepower Hour, I asked you a question, and I agree with your answer. Is like, who needed this game more? And of course, if you look at statistic, you look at record, you look at anything, the Chiefs needed it more, right? Because they're the ones that are 5-4, scratching and clawing to try to get back in this thing. But our psyche, everything we heard the last 2 weeks, ever since how bad that Raiders game looked, the Broncos needed that more. The fact that our guys are going down with injuries and guys are getting, you know, diseases, like whatever, you know what I mean? Like, we needed that game to be like, everybody, I don't care who it is, y'all can just step, because we're legit and we know how to win these close games. Last year, we couldn't win close games. We couldn't beat the good teams. Well, we felt right at home. We locked in and we got it done. And we've done it all year. So, you know, I had a feeling this was going to be a low-scoring game just because the vibes of it. It's not, nobody's going to be, you know, but
I don't think it'd be 6-6 at half.
No. Yeah.
But it's funny because, you know, even at halftime, I remember thinking to myself, like, man, like when we went up 6-0, I was like, dude, that sucks. Like, we should at least be up 10. You know, you can't just kick field goals against Mahomes, but it didn't seem like it was wavered. Like, they didn't waver at all. It was just an awesome thing to see, man. And you know, it was funny. Chronolist LW, he brings up a really good point. And I was actually gonna ask this question, so I'm glad he said it. It's so good to go into the bye winning. Is it? Like, I know for fans it's great, but do you think that this is one of those wins where like you want to keep riding the momentum of winning 8 in a row now? Or do you feel like doesn't really matter? Like, this team really needs a bye week, which I think they do as well.
Oh, I would take the bye week. I think this was a very emotional game. I think that the rallying cry for like this whole week after the Raiders game was like, the offense sucks and blah, 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 blah. And how can they do this? And now Dobbins is out. Now I think they were worn down, but they were like, we have enough in us to just say, you know what? We hear all the noise, but like we trust our own team to get it done when we need to get it done. And this couldn't, I think the bye's perfect. I think there's a lot of guys banged up. Obviously, like, I want to get Pat back. I want to get, you know, some of these guys back. Hopefully Singleton is out. He looked fantastic.
Yep.
There's a lot of, you know, people that I just think we need a mental break, but like, I'm thankful that we had a little mini bye going into that game, because if we had to just play them right away after they had a full bye, that would have been tougher. But, you know, I just have a feeling like we saw the last, I don't know. I'm not going to say it. I was just going to say, like, the Chiefs this season, and I was listening to stuff pregame, like James Palmer and some other people were basically saying, like, this season feels different for the Chiefs. Like, they don't feel as invincible as before. Obviously, the record-wise and all that, but, like, the Bills took it to them, all that. But it's just like the vibe around the team felt a little different. And they kept saying, well, once we get these guys back, we'll be better and blah, 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 blah. But like, they absolutely positively needed to have this game. And now they have to play the Colts next week. And to lose off of a bye against a division rival who already had a 3-game lead on you is like,
Yeah.
Oof, that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. All we heard, was Andy Reid's 21-4 coming off the bye.
Mhm.
And Patrick Mahomes is 18-4 when he comes off of a loss. Well, they lost before they came off their bye. And yet we were able to still go over that. I mean, listen, I think the thing with the Chiefs is this, like, what they've done up to this point is like really unheard of. Like, it's unbelievable. It really is. Like, if you think about it.
Yeah.
And anytime you see a team, like whenever a team loses in a Super Bowl or they got dominated the way that they did, like usually they have a really big letdown year the following year. And it's hard to keep like so many guys and so much talent and all that. Like, it's just hard to maintain it. So the fact that they've done it for as long as they have is crazy.
Yep.
Listen, are they done, or is it like, is a team not to worry about? I mean, I would never say that, but
I'm not saying that.
I think the interesting thing is that teams, not just the Broncos, but teams around the NFL aren't necessarily as intimidated by the Chiefs as they used to be,
No,
right?
definitely
So the Broncos certainly couldn't. And you know what? Like, we kind of never really had a reason to, as much as they've like all the success they've had and how bad the last 10 years have been. Like, the last few years, the Broncos have always given the Chiefs the most amount of fits. Like, they've always played them really well. So now that I feel like we actually have like a very, very good, very complete team, overall better team than they do, it just makes sense that we continued on it. But man, I thought it was massive. I thought the defense was unbelievable, except for Riley Moss, who was really frustrating for me today. But in a win, you don't even necessarily think about it. But the crazy thing too about this game was the Broncos were averaging 2.8 yards a run. Like, we weren't. Not only were we not able to run the ball, we only ran it 21 times and we threw it 37. And most of the game we were leading, or if we were down, we were only down by 3.
Yeah.
So like, the game plan worked. But I thought today, man, Sean Payton was doing a really, really phenomenal job of calling plays, making Bo comfortable, utilizing Pat Bryant. Like, I always felt like that was such a big mismatch.
Yep.
And I thought it was a really great game plan overall. I mean, the offense was very efficient, right? We talked about it. They only had one touchdown, but it was enough. We ran basically as many plays as the Chiefs did. From a standpoint of the time of possession was almost dead even. I think those things were super important.
Yeah.
And we ended up still with 342 yards
Yeah.
of total offense.
Now, talk about the play calls real quick. How did you feel about that fake throwback to Bo play?
I hated that.
I was like,
I hated that
when
because
are you
it's like,
gonna
dude,
learn?
use it at a better time. What did they use it at midfield?
Yeah,
But,
and Harvey, it's like he was double cut. Like,
yeah,
give Cortland Sutton credit for last week for not. I mean, it was a bad call, but he like made a really impressive catch, just even catch it and then not force it.
Mhm.
Like, it kicked us out of field goal range enough, which it's like, well, maybe you could have thrown away, maybe, I don't know. But like,
Yeah.
Harvey was like, I'm throwing this 100% no matter what. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, no.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously it's never going to be perfect, but I thought he had a really good game plan. And you talk about another moment, man. I mean, Jahdae Barron gets a pick six, like his first career pick six. Think about the moment, like the biggest moment of his career. And they ended up taking it away on the most ticky-tack call. And I was devastated, but the team they didn't flinch. Like, they didn't flinch. They just kept on playing. And that's what I love to see the most.
It's gotten to the point with the refs that they're like, we are going to just build into our minds bad calls. Like, we're not even flinching off bad calls anymore. We're not going to whine about it. We're not going to cry about it. We're not going to explain why it was a bad call, even though everybody in the world can see it's a bad call. We're just going to just build it in.
Yeah.
And the mentality is like, yeah, they took away 7 points. That call on Riley Moss was the biggest bunch of crap I've ever seen. You could call that on every single like throw. And then they're like completely hugging us, holding us, doing everything else, bumping us way after 5 yards, never get a call. Like, but we just built it in. Like, to us, it's just like, yeah, we're not going to get calls.
Yeah.
I think Sean is like, look, you're not going to get calls. Sean got a penalty. Like, he got ran into and then he got caught a 50-yarder. You know what I mean? It's like, they'll call it on anything. So it's just like, okay, well, just know it. Just know going in, they're going to be against us. And we're going to beat the Chiefs. And we're going to have to, like, we have to overcome everything, But if you just build it into your mind, Like that's
You
the way
did.
you have to be.
No, no doubt, man. I think you absolutely nailed it. And the problem with the refereeing, man, and it's not just as it pertains to the Broncos. I mean, obviously we see it more because we watch every snap, but it's just a lack of consistency. Like if you're gonna call everything tight, then just call everything tight the whole game. Don't just like randomly call something really tight and then let a bunch of shit slide. That's where I see the problem. Like they call like even the holding call. I don't know if it was on Palczewski or if it was on McGlinchey. There was two separate ones, but it was like one was so like borderline, and then they would like three blatant ones that they were holding the shit out of DJ Jones, like he's literally getting held back, and then they just pretend like they don't see it. Like that's where I get bothered by it, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's like you got ticky tack DPIs, but it's not on the other side. But man,
I was screaming my head off. I was like, that one on Palczewski was like he might have tried to hold, but he couldn't get a hold of the guy.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, you can't call a try to hold.
Yeah.
It was either a hold or it wasn't. Like the guy slid right by. He tried to grab him and he slid right off of him. And it was like, wait, how is that a penalty? But
yeah, again, like you said, sometimes it does seem like it does seem like that you know, they kind of build it in. They're like they just know what the call is going to be. But man, I'm just so dude. This was like I wouldn't want to have beaten the Chiefs in any other way. You know, I didn't want like a perfectly clean game from the ref. I kind of wanted all these different crazy nonsense to happen and you know, to be able to overcome it was truly special. It really was. And the way that Bo stepped up, the way that the whole offense stepped up when they needed to, and this defense, they just came up like they wanted to show. I feel like they were on a mission. They wanted to show everybody that they were as legit as what the national media is portraying them as being, right? I think that they wanted to be able to say, you know, we don't care that we don't have one of our captains in Alex Singleton, who's the green dot guy, defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain, he's out. We don't really care. We're just going to go out there and try to dominate. And there was times where like, I felt like Patrick Mahomes looked uncomfortable.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
for sure.
And so that's just a testament to this defense, man, that they were balling. And you love to see it. You love to see it. So as it stands right now, we got people in the comments be wilding too.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently you're out. You can make OnlyFans. I love it. But our guy Kodiak,
I appreciated it.
Yeah, our guy Kodiak, Casey had 2 chances to put the game away, and went on. You know, and went 3 and out 2 times, and that was again, defense stepped the fuck up for sure. Without PS2, they were awesome. They were just sending all sorts of things. But dude, I lost my top when VJ sent McMillan on that blitz. I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. That was so fun. To be able to battle all that is sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, exactly. That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like they took away 7 points on that one. It was like, I don't even know what Mahomes was even throwing on that throw. I was like what is happening? But like, yeah, no, there were so many calls. And here's the thing. And I was telling the people that were over, like my friends, I was just like, we would score a touchdown and then they would be like, oh, offsides on the defense. And I go, see that call right there? They only called that late because they know we're going to decline it and they want to even up the totals. But like, they have no business. Like when it comes to an actual clutch play, that's going to be a big play. If they can take it from us, they will take it from us. And I hate being like that guy being like, oh, you know, it's, you know, stacked against us or whatever. But it's just like, how much evidence you need. That one where Cortland Sutton got the first down by like that much. And then they were like, he got it by this much. And it's like, even Tony Romo and, you know, Nance was like, well, his knee's not down. Clearly he got it by a good 2 feet. And they were just like, well, I don't know. On earlier before the half, remember he took that timeout so they could like see if Bo got the first down on that run. And yeah, exactly. Here we go.
There's a reason this photo exists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of people think that's Photoshopped, but it isn't.
The thing is too, like, yeah, I don't always like to be the guy that's like all about the refs, but the thing is man, ask anybody, any fan base of a team that's played the Chiefs in a big game, dude, they could point out to like so many different situations. But you know what? I don't want to get into the refs more than I want to just get into the unbelievable nature of this game and what I felt like was truly just a gutsy effort, man. Well executed, unbelievable. We went, you know, we able to get all the big plays that we needed all at the same time. So I don't really want to take away from that. There was something that I had seen in here. My voice is like I could feel my voice literally going. Um, but there was something in the comments that I wanted to talk about specifically, but I couldn't remember. But anyways, in terms of like, man, we heard all the talk about the teams, and I know you've always been one of the more like optimistic ones. You're talking about like, why is everybody freaking out? Colin Cowherd coming saying nonsense about like Sean wants to draft somebody else, but everybody was freaking out. They're like, this team doesn't really have an identity, and it's like, okay, we might not have had an identity necessarily on offense, but the identity of this team is beat your ass defense, like make it very, very hard so that we're always in a game. And as long as we're in close games, being able to pull it out at the end. And we've done it consistently. And I think now it really shows now more than ever that like this is kind of how this team is built at this point. And
no, 2 weeks ago I said the identity of this team is 3 words: find a way. That's the identity. It has no like the offense can play really good and whatever. Defense can play really like you just need to figure out a way to win the football game. Like this is 8 games in a row we've won, and 2 of them have been blowouts, and the other ones have been either comebacks or close games or barely holding on or whatever it is. But it's like your identity when you demonstrate ability over and over and over again, that's what it is. Like you have confidence in yourself because I've been here before. I've had to come back against better teams than this. I know I can do it. Yeah. That's what those little steps are. And then it drove me absolutely crazy last week when, on a Thursday night game against the Raiders where you're freaking tired going off all this stuff. And it's like, we felt comfortable. We're going to win that game. We did win the game. Everybody just had to like freak out. And it was like, you're forgetting the 6 other games that we just precluded.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes it's like we think style points mean more than they actually do. Yeah. Because I think that there's some situations where style points, it's important, right? Like, but the thing is when this team wanted to show style points, they did. They played the worst defense in the Cowboys. They absolutely smashed them, right? And yes, you're not going to have the perfect games, but in general, it's like that's exactly what it is. It's find a way, and that's what this team does. And man, a really special shout out again. I had it on my notes. I'm glad that I actually saw it. Is Darren Rizzi with the special teams performance. It's been a really tough year at times, but man, I felt like he outcoached Dave Toub, who's like one of the best. Dave Toub, however you say his name, one of the best special teams coaches. That was one of the phases of the football game where I thought, man, we have a really big disadvantage. Like it was great to have Mims back, which was helpful. Obviously, having a huge return to set us up, but dude, like. We almost had a block punt. We had the blocked field goal, which was massive because kicking that field goal when his game is tied is so much more like less worrisome than if we were down 20-19. Yeah. It ended up being huge.
My neighbors and friends that were over, they're like, we're going to get the touchdown here at the end. And I go, no. It's like, we're not going for a touchdown. Yeah. I was like, we're going to get as far as we can, and then we are going to run it out as far like to 3 seconds, take a timeout, and then kick a field goal. Worst case scenario goes into overtime, but you are not giving the ball back.
Exactly.
Any circumstances.
Dude, the most important thing was do not give them the ball back with any time left at all. Yeah.
I don't trust the refs. They'll call crap they'll just throw it deep to Riley's side, and then they'll go, oh, Riley did, he picked his nose, and therefore it's whatever. And you're just like, all right. So we can't do that.
Even in general, like you don't want to give the ball back to Mahomes, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like that was for me. I was like, dude, like make sure that they're burning the timeouts. And I thought they played it perfectly. Yeah. At the end of the game, I thought they did a really good job there. So that was awesome. And then I don't think, man, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I've ever seen Frank Crum on field goal block. So
I was like, why?
They must have seen something or switched something up. They put him on there, 6'7". He gets. I mean, it was amazing. It was such a good play, huge play.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be one of those plays that's completely forgotten about in this course of this. They're just gonna remember the Broncos, marched down and got the field goal, whatever. No. The Chiefs going up 4 as opposed to only 3 is such a different vibe. Like it's such a different because now the mentality is we have to get a touchdown. Exactly. We have to force it. But it's like when you only need a field goal. And then you can be a little more patient. You can let it come to you. Just take what's there. Don't need to force anything. And
Yeah, and what people don't realize is it kind of bought us an extra possession in a sense of like, because if you're down 4, you go down, you're probably not going to kick it. You might go for it on 4th, and then that kind of would wrap it up. Whereas when you're down 3, it's like, no, we're good. We can kick the field goal, and we can, buy ourselves an additional possession afterwards to see what it is that ends up happening. Whereas if you're down 4, maybe you make a stupid decision or you press something and you end up getting no points, and then you're screwed. So no, it was a massive play, and it was crazy because I was so pissed after they had scored, and then when they missed the extra point, I was like, oh damn, like that was big time. That was big time.
It was very similar to the Giants game. It was like them calling that PI on Moss and then them punching it in on the Jackson Dart like sneak, and then them missing the extra point that would have made it 3, that only made it 2. They went from being like a 90 whatever % chance we're going to win to like, oh crap, we might lose now just because that extra point didn't go through. Because it's like, for whatever reason, if you believe in like fate or you believe in whatever is out there, whatever, it just feels like those always come back to get you. If you don't execute this simple extra point, somewhere down the line, that 1 point is going to be a big difference. And it almost always is. Almost always. And it
was awesome. The kick coverage was so good today on both punt and kick return, which was good to see. And Crawshaw had some bombs, man. I mean, he almost had one that was blocked. It was close, but he didn't even flinch. He sent that to the moon outside. Like, special teams was so good. Yeah. The turnover battle was another big key to the game. So I felt like we won the special teams battle. We won the turnover battle 1-0. And
should have 2.
There you go, man. I mean, should have been 2. Yeah. But again, there you go. Like those are the big keys to the game. And I felt like, man, it was a wonderful thing to see. Just so proud of the way that this team played. And, without J.K. Dobbins, to seeing Jaleel back was cool.
Yeah.
But we didn't really have a semblance of a run game. And to be honest with you, we didn't really commit to it like I thought we would. I mean, averaging 2.8, but still, like, again, you talk about all the adversity you got to overcome. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it is with the opponent, like just how good Andy Reid's been coming off of a bye, right? How good Patrick Mahomes has been coming off of a loss. Being down a lot of your key guys and still being able to pull out the win is just massive, man. It's massive. Cannot believe it. Broncos are 8-2. We have won 8 games in a row. Can you believe it? 8 games in a row. We have not lost. We have not lost since I got the orange iPhone, which I got the blue one.
I got the blue one.
I didn't even want to get the orange, but I was like, you know what? It's different. And we have not lost since I bought the phone. Kind of crazy. Maybe it's a thing. Maybe it just happens to be luck, but it is what it is.
I know. My buddy who was over here, he had extra tickets to go to that Monday night game. And I was like, dude, since we went, we have not lost. And my wife was like, don't say that. That's gonna, like, you're gonna jinx them now. And I was like, no, we've said that plenty of times since then, and it hasn't stopped us yet. No, man, this is throughout this last 10 years, there's been so many times when people have gotten so upset about like the state of the team and where we're at, and just think about all the things we've gone through this last 10 years. New ownership, new coaches, new, like, how many the stupid freaking quarterback carousel graphic, like so many things that we've seen this last 10 years. And I always just felt like it's all going to lead to something better. And now that we have all 4 of those things set, I just hate when people like the Bo Nix haters come out of like the woodwork when one kind of rough game happens. It's like, guys, you can't teach the clutch gene. You can't teach it. Like, you can do so many things, but like, you cannot, like, when you're playing a team like that's that good and he doesn't flinch, you keep that guy. Like, I saw my own eyes when I was a little kid watching John Elway. I'm like, this guy is special. He's going to deliver things because he refuses to lose. I can't wait to watch that Netflix documentary, by the way, on John Elway. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But like,
I got that on the watch list.
Yeah, but it feels like it's just like so many people had this like idea of what Bo Nix stealing was and what he could be and what he was and his arm strength and blah 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 pre-draft. And it's just like, Okay, just say you didn't. I was wrong. His arm's better than I thought, and this and that. It's like he's a young quarterback, but you know what? He's beaten Kansas City. What is it now? 2 out of 3 times, and he should have been all 3 out of 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
He's faced them. Like, this is the person that we've been waiting for, and Kansas City knew it. Both Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes has said last year after that one game we lost on the blocked field goal, y'all got one. Like, he's legit, because they've seen people shrink under the pressure and like perform under the pressure. They know the difference. Patrick Mahomes is that. That's what he is. He's the standard of right now of that. And, you know, that's why he was ranked in the top NFL 100, because players know when game recognizes game, as they say, and they know this guy in the clutch is that. Yeah. So,
well, and they even said going into this game, I mean, you heard the reporters, they talked about Kansas City has a sense of urgency. They understand how important this game is. Like, there's a lot of respect, obviously, for the Broncos defense and Bo. And, dude, a lot of people in Broncos country hate Travis Kelce, understandably so. I always have, like, an affinity for him, man. It's just because of more of a personal story, but I've always liked Travis Kelce, even though I hate when we play him. And, yeah, I mean, on his podcast, even with his brother, he was raving. He's like, dude, that guy's got one. You're absolutely right, man. People, we forget the bad stuff so quickly. Like, we just assume, or sometimes you just get into the dumps where you're like, you've tried and tried and tried with so many different quarterbacks. You almost think like it's too good to be true.
Yes.
That we finally got the guy. But, dude, Bo Nix, he checks off all of the boxes that you're looking for a franchise quarterback. Is he a finished product? No, but he's got everything that you're looking for, man. He's athletic. He's smart. He's got the drive, the work ethic. Like, he's got it all. And most importantly, though, he's got continuity, and he's got an entire organization that believes in him. And, bro, I'll tell you, like, if that was the case for every team, so many guys' career could have gone in a different direction. Like, that's the most important thing. And I mean, you're seeing it. Like, it's not that Sam Darnold is all of a sudden, like, now better because he's played a lot more. I mean, that's a part of it, the experience, obviously, but a lot of it is you're in a situation where someone believed in you, right? Baker Mayfield, they hated him in Cleveland. He goes to Tampa. He becomes, a stud. I mean, Daniel Jones, you can go down the list. So that, just having that, and I was talking to a good buddy of mine. We were talking about the Giants. He wanted to make a Giants podcast. So we talked a lot about the Giants and how they can be a quick turnaround team similar to the Broncos. And I was saying the most important thing that you can do for Jackson Dart now is have as solid of a foundation for him as possible. If you continue getting new coaches and flipping this and flipping that, like, guys are going to fail. It's just, that's how it is. And so he's got all the, man, he checks all the boxes, and dude, you can't teach the clutch gene. Like, there's a lot of things that he needs to work on, right? And there's always going to be things to work on, but they're all teachable and they're all fixable. But you cannot teach somebody to just have the it factor. That's it. And flip the switch when the light's on. And that's what he does, man. And he didn't flinch. He didn't even look 1% worried today. He was awesome, and he outperformed Mahomes again. Like, in the 2 games that he's actually played against Mahomes, because last year, week 18 doesn't really count. He's outplayed him arguably in both games. Yeah. Right. Now, does it mean that he's better than Mahomes? No. Don't be crazy. But that's huge, man. That is big, big time.
Absolutely. No, it's when you have to look across the field and say, you're going to have to do everything you possibly can to beat me, and I'm not scared. And when the person recognizes and looks in your eyes and knows you're not scared, that's different. It's not like, ooh, let's hope that good things happen, and if everything goes right, maybe. It's like, no. It's like, I'm going to give you everything I got, and you're going to have to beat me, because I'm not going to just, like, wither. And that's the difference between, like, the greats. Yeah. Is, like, what did you do in the clutch? And the game was won, in my opinion, on that 3rd and 15 when we had no business, like, it wasn't there early. He had to stop, wait, buy time, run to the pocket, and then find Cortland Sutton to make that play. And I feel like Kansas City probably's defense was like, oh, that was our chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, 3rd and
15. As a defense, giving those up, those are the worst. You're just like, I cannot believe they just got a 3rd and 15. So
totally.
It's just like, I just hate when people are like, well, if you look at his EPA, it's just like, the game is not, that's not the game. The game is not like whatever's like statistical thing you're coming up with. The game is like looking across the field and saying you're going to have to give it everything you got because I'm coming and I'm not scared. That's what sports is.
Bro, and I'm telling you, like, people always remember the comeback wins, and they rarely remember how bad the player played, except for like now with Broncos country, but I think that'll eventually subside. Because if that was the case, dude, people would remember there was so many games where Tom Brady, especially big games, was awful, like horrendously bad.
Yep.
But, you know, he had his teammates, he had his coaches, he had some people, you know, keep him in the game. And then every single time when it mattered, he would come out, make a huge play, and no one would care about what his box score was. And they would completely forget about the 3/4 of him being shit. Dude, there was Super Bowls where he was awful in until it mattered. And that's what makes him, you know, one of the GOATs of the generation, because he had that clutch gene. So that's always the most important thing. Everything else can get itself fixed. But I thought Bo was great today. I thought his feet looked good. I thought he was accurate, man. I was so fired up with the way that the team played. And Miguel Resend is over here saying, do you see the Broncos in the Super Bowl? I'll let you take that one.
Oh, I mean, I think we definitely have the team. Sean said it in the preseason, and we were all like, whoa, that's a crazy statement to say about your team that you're not expecting. But it's like, there's so many things. You have to be good and lucky, right? That's always what has to happen. But Sean Payton said that in his entire coaching career, he's had 6 teams that he felt had the chance to get to a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And he said, this is his 7th team. And everybody was like, whoa, that's a major statement, because we're all being honest. Like, most of the fans and most of the people that follow this team and love the Broncos, we're like, we just want to win a playoff game. That's the next step.
Yeah, totally.
But like, where we're sitting right now at 9-2, you just beat the Chiefs, who were absolutely desperate, needed this game, and Chargers are banged up. They had a big loss today, and you should have beat the Colts. You didn't beat the Colts on a freaking BS call, in my opinion. Like, why not? Why not? Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. That doesn't mean like everything's going to go well, but like, if there's a team that has a mental toughness to get to a Super Bowl and believe in themselves to do it, I definitely believe this team has that. 100%.
Yeah. I'd agree. And real quick, Carlos, this isn't a baseball podcast. I don't know which Cardinals you're talking about, but it's not. This isn't a baseball. We're talking about a football team. But anyways, in terms of that, I love the question. I mean, dude, how can you not, right? And I think a lot of the times people get so scared to answer it because you're like, oh, you're predicting to go to the Super Bowl. But dude, like, think about Super Bowl winning teams. They always say defense wins championships. We obviously have the defense to compete with anybody, right? Yep. We've got the head coach has got the experience. I think we've got the quarterback that obviously has the clutch gene and has got the makeup. Like, yeah, why the hell not? If you're a team that just gives yourself a chance to win, like you're in close games and you give yourself a chance to win, that's all that Super Bowl champion teams have ever done. I mean, look at what we did in 2015, but not even us. Like, there's a ton of different examples of teams that, like, they weren't dominant. They weren't scoring 35, 40 points a game. They had their flaws, but the one thing that they definitely did have was a strong defense that would just allow for them to have the chance. Because at the end of the day, man, especially in the NFL, all you want is a chance in the fourth quarter to win the game. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
There's not one game, like any game that you say, hey, if the Broncos have a chance to win it in the fourth quarter, would you take it? The answer is always going to be yes.
Yep.
And so we have a team that's doing it. And then on the flip side, we've got an offense or a team that's now executing. So it's, we had it to where last year we were in a lot of games. We were in a ton of one-score games, but we weren't winning them. Mm-hmm. Now we're figuring out a way to win it. So, yeah, I mean, of course we have a chance at the Super Bowl, but obviously there's so much that's got to continue to happen and for us to get there. So we'll take it week by week.
And any team in the AFC West, if you come out of the AFC West as the AFC West champs, you're legit. 100%. There's no way you're accidentally winning the AFC West. Mm-hmm. Okay. Like, the Chargers are a well-coached, fantastic quarterback, super talented football team. The Kansas City Chiefs, we all know what they've done the last 9 years. Like, I want it to be us to be the ones that dethrone them. And I want it to be Sean and Bo and our defense being like, you had a great run, a little bit of help from the refs, a lot of help from the refs, but those times are over with.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's like, I just love the fact that we're still paying Russell Wilson $30-something million.
I know.
And it's like, who
Must
cares?
be nice for him.
Oh, dude. Well, he
You
didn't
think
like
you think he low key roots for us?
No.
He's like, man, that check was nice. I don't know. Like,
He
I'll put all
should.
the
He should, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just like, when you get the right pieces with the right people, like Doug said it earlier, there feels something special about this team. I totally agree. And you know a team is special when the guy who's come through for you over and over and over again kind of messes up today and kind of gives up the lead in Talanoa Ufunga, and the other guys are like, don't even worry about it, bro. We got your back. We're going to stop them the next time. And Bo Nix goes down. Even Frank Crum blocks. Bo Nix drives down, kicks the field. Dude, Will Lutz, 54-yarder. Clutch.
Huge kick.
Like, that was such a big kick.
I'm surprised. I forgot about it. I'm so happy you mentioned it because I love kickers, bro. That was an unbelievable kick.
Unbelievable kick, and it should have been 3 yards or 4 yards short, closer, and they got that call wrong, of course. Not to go back to the refs, but like clutch kick on that one.
Yeah, it's funny because Romo said he's like, maybe those 2 or 3 yards did mean something. I mean, he's gonna make it from 51 or 54 in terms of like his distance, right? It would have really sucked if he like just hooked it, but regardless, it was.
But it's like a mental thing for whatever reason. Like, if you look at kickers, when they're kicking like 35-yarders, you're like, those balls are going to go 50, 55. Mm-hmm. It's just getting it straight, right? Mm-hmm. But then when they get back to the 50s, it's like, what, left or right, left or right. You remember when you played Madden when you were like younger? And they had like the bar going like this real fast the further back you get. That's what it feels like for a kicker, I think. Is just like, not only do I have to, and it should be like, okay, I just have to like level this off, kind of guide it over there. Yeah. I don't worry about the strength. The strength's gonna be fine. Unless it's like a 60-something yarder, you don't have to really worry about the strength of it. You're gonna get it there. Just make sure it's straight. But for whatever reason, those 50-some yarders are different. And if it's a 50-yarder compared to a 54, there is a difference. I guarantee
for sure. I mean, think about like, you know, in golf when you're on the tee box to drive the ball, right? If you know it's a 620-yard par 5, you're thinking, oh, I gotta blast it, I gotta hit this hard so I can make it up. So where if it's like 480 yards, you're like, nah, man, just nice and easy down the middle. We'll live another day. And I can promise you, when it's the 650 yarders and you feel like you gotta crush it, that shit's going to the neighbor's house.
Definitely. Or if there's just any sort of water, even if it's not like a dead front in front of you, if it's just like off to the left. And you're like, I wouldn't have gone to the left ever anyways, but because that water is there, it's going in the drink. Yeah. That's just the way it goes, you know?
Yeah. And I don't know who those folks were, bro, but Jaquan's been one of my favorite players on this team. I would never. You are
Jaquan.
I love that guy.
For sure.
I love that guy. I was actually mad we drafted Barron because it maybe meant less Jaquan, but luckily that was not the case. But yeah, there were some people out there. No doubt about it. But man, yeah, dude, everyone was clutch, dude. Like I thought Crawshaw had some great punts that flipped the field. I thought Will Lutz was awesome, just doing his thing and banging it out. So, man, this team is just so fun. They're so fun, and it's so nice going into the bye week next week, at least for fans, of like, holy shit, man, we're 9-2. I was born September 2nd, so I'm very keen to 9-2.
Oh, nice.
And I love playing blackjack. And when you get a 9-2 hand, you're usually doubling down. So this is a good moment for me.
We call them double down. Yeah. No.
We call those double downs. But
yeah.
But yeah, I do want to wrap up now because I do got a couple things I got to take care of, including a soccer game here later today. But I just want to go real quickly, man. Like, do you have any specific players that maybe we didn't mention, we didn't shout out in this game that you'd like to give a special shout out to?
I thought Jaleel ran hard. I appreciate that he got his chance and he had a little juice to him. There was one that I felt like he kind of ran into a Chief when he had a bigger 100%. Lane to the right. And I was like,
it should have been a 20-yard.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
For sure. Yep.
But for the most part, I felt like he ran hard. I appreciate that. I felt like the offensive line did relatively well, but man, Quinn Miners got freaking eaten up by
Chris Jones.
My guy. I low-key think Chris Jones is the second best Chief of the last 9 years. Like he's so clutch for them. It's so frustrating. Yeah. More than Travis Kelce or even Tyreek Hill back in the day. I like the way Riley battled. Like, you got to understand, Riley's their number one now, right? As Pat's been out, and there was one that I was like, okay, maybe you could call that, but there was a couple where you're just like, come on, bro. I just like the fact that he battles though.
No, of course. No, I mean, of course. Like, that's never been a problem. But with me, is it's like, dude, he's just got to be a little bit smarter, like understanding. Like on that 3rd and 18, it was definitely pass interference. But the frustrating part was it didn't have to be. You know, like
You mean
it's just understanding your technique a little bit.
Was that the 3rd and 18 where he but he turns and like he kind of had him right here a little bit?
No, the first one that they called where he turned and played it was Perfect. Absolutely a dog shit call.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And it was more like, I think, like I said, I think it's just a reputation call, which unfortunately does happen. But it was the one late, like where they kept the drive alive, and it was like a massive 3rd and 18, and I was just like, dude, it was I felt like the right call, and it was just unnecessary.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I'll listen. People talk about the roller coaster, right? You're just riding the roller coaster of Bo Nix. You're gonna do the same thing with Riley Moss and hope that he ends up making the clutch plays when you need it. But I thought his coverage was really sticky early on. I thought he started the game really, really good.
Yeah.
I want to give a special shout out to my guy Pat Bryant, brother.
Oh yeah.
You know my love that I have for Pat. And I'll tell you guys this, and I think I've said it in a previous video. In the next year or two, so either next year or the year after, Pat Bryant is going to be your bona fide wide receiver 1. I just think something about the guy is special, man. He's always making the clutch catches. He's the guy you look for on 3rd downs. He's just really damn good. And I love the combination of Sutton and Bryant and Franklin. Like I really like, the fact that Sutton garners so much attention and is still clutch when you need him to be. That's obviously great. But Pat Bryant kind of coming into his own, man. It reminds me of the Sutton and Tim Patrick days.
Yeah.
Right. And then, Franklin had a bad drop, but he had a really big catch. He can kind of spread the field. So
the game-winning catch.
Yeah, I thought Pat Bryant was awesome, man. He was 5 catches for 82 yards, and Troy Franklin leading receiver, 4 catches, 84 yards today. They were all studs.
Pat Bryant, I will say this, like, I felt like when we re-signed Lil Jordan Humphrey, I felt most people were like, why are you getting him back? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that's a Pat Bryant move, in my opinion. Because they relied on Pat Bryant to do so much blocking that they weren't able to give him the ball as much as I think they wanted to. But now you got Lil Jordan Humphrey to kind of have to do some of the stuff that they're only relying on Pat to do. And it frees Pat up to catch a lot more balls and to do a lot more on the offensive part of it. And so to me, I was like, I think you guys are missing the bigger picture with the Lil Jordan Humphrey. I know Sean likes Lil Jordan Humphrey, but it's because it allows him to do other things. Yeah. It's not because he loves Lil Jordan Humphrey, the pass catcher, blah, blah, blah. Now he can do some of that, but like he just wants a guy he can trust to do certain things. And I think he wanted Pat to just be able to like, we can do it on the left side. We could do it on the right side now. We can do something for Pat. You know what I mean? I just felt like he understands where Pat's ascending to as well.
Yeah. No, I think this year I was totally fine with the Lil Jordan Humphrey signing. And I felt like I was a little bit worried that like, is he going to take snaps away from others like we would complain about last year? Because my problem with Lil Jordan Humphrey last year wasn't that like, oh, Lil Jordan Humphrey's terrible. Like I saw a lot of good things from him, but I felt like, man, he's hampering the growth of like Troy Franklin and Devon Vele at the time. Right. But now I was like, I didn't think that's how Sean Payton was going to utilize him. And thankfully he didn't. So I thought the signing overall was really good, but you do make a really good point in the sense of like now teams don't know, like, are you going to block with Pat Bryant? Are you going to block with Lil Jordan Humphrey? Because both those guys can do it, and both those guys can also beat you in the pass game. So it gives you a lot more. It gives you a lot more options. So yeah, I thought they were dope.
Yeah. Last thing, just closing. Like, I just want to show like how proud and happy I am of just like the mental toughness of the team. Like, they had a lot of excuses going into this game of why they shouldn't win. You had a built-up lead. You had tons of injuries. You had freaking, like I said earlier, cancer diagnosis. You had a bunch of stuff that been like, well, Kansas City, like we still are going to be in first place. And then you had the Chargers blowing it early, right? So you're like, you're going to be in first place, win or lose. But like, it takes a special team and a special types of people to be like, I don't care about, I'm not doing this for excuses. I'm not doing this for any other reason. I'm putting my head down and we were going to find a way to win this football game. And if we don't, I'm going to give you everything I got. I'm going to leave it all out on the field. And that's what they did. And that's why they won this game. And that's why if we do bigger things, it comes playoff time, it'll be because of that.
Yep. Well said, my guy. Well said. Well, everybody in the chat, man, you guys have been awesome. Well, most of you guys, some of you guys have been kind of weird, but everybody watching live, you guys are dope. I appreciate y'all. Enjoy the hell out of this win, and be sure to tune in to Horsepower Hour tomorrow, 8 p.m. Myself with Jeremy, obviously, David Talks Broncos, and Kodiak Broncos as well, man, because it is going to be a lit show. We're going to have a great time. But y'all enjoy your Sunday, man.
Yes.
Go, hopefully your fantasy teams are doing good. Spend some time with some family members, some people that, you love the most, and enjoy it. Enjoy it while we got it, because it's a good time to be a Bronco fan, man. So appreciate y'all, Jeremy. Thanks again for your time as always, brother. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Go Broncos, baby.
Peace. Love you.